Hi, just me here. Don't want Scruffy along because I need all the time I can get to explain what I'm doing here. The reason that I've got the intro going here at the moment is because this is not the English version of the game, this is actually the Japanese version. With its own unique voice acting, which is equally amazing, but not as hilarious because I don't understand it. I'm leaving this intro in just so you can see how much of a difference 60 Hz from 50 Hz actually makes. You can hear, if you compare the two videos, this intro finishes a good 5 or 6 seconds ahead of the music that it did on the PAL version. Also, the title cuts in like that. But someone in the thread demanded that I S-rank all of the stages. And ignoring the fact that I was going to do that from the get-go, oh, there's the alphabet I like, I can never resist a challenge. So we're gonna get all of the S ranks. Yo. So I'm using the Japanese version mainly because, in terms of a speed run, the text, as with a lot of games of this era, is just scrolls faster per character, gets more information, so it's faster to get through it. In game, the level timer doesn't actually advance while there's text active, so in terms of getting S ranks, it doesn't actually matter. So I'm using the Japanese version instead of my English copies because I find it a bit easier to do it with 60 Hz instead of 50 Hz. There are timings on some things that I find easier. Some I find easier on the PAL version, but overall I have a better time with NTSC. I've gotten much more used to it. So first of all, always press Z to skip the intros of levels because they actually waste time on the in-game timer. So go, 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 use slide jumps wherever possible because they are always faster. Motor through the level as fast as possible. And here, I actually wanted to show how, if even doing this level as fast as possible, the intended solution, the intended route, you could not possibly get the S rank. But I was actually wrong, because the text freezes the game timer. If I had done that faster, I could actually have gotten under the S rank time of 18 seconds. But it's faster and easier to do this method instead, which is to get over to the Plant Shrine, just a second, grab this guy, and just use him to boost yourself up to the star. Much easier. There's even faster ways to beat the level, but that's the basic way that people get the S rank. Level 2 is pretty much just a matter of correctly placing all of your slide jumps. Slide jumps, like I said, are just the best possible way to move through levels almost all the time. At least until you start getting into glitches, but I won't be doing any glitches in this video. The S rank time for level 2 was 17 seconds, just snuck in under there. Level 3 is where it's a little more technical. Gotta quickly get through this screen, and here, because we've got to go and get a few specific clan balls, need to quickly get over here to catch this white one before it goes back down, so that I could get the second clam ball, and then just quickly zooming over back here. Let's just get back to the exit star in just under 25 seconds, which is the S-rank time for this level. Before we move on, there were some techniques that I was using there that, you know, deserve a bit more time shown. I mentioned this in, I think, video 2 or 3, that I'm used to just using the jump button to jump from clam ball to clam ball, because, as you can see, you don't have to waste time throwing yourself off of the clam balls. It's way faster. The only time you should ever be using clam balls to throwing yourself off of clam balls is if you really need the height. And speaking of height, what I'm showing here is that there are, while you can, you know, get a decent bit of height just from jumping and boosting upwards, which I'm showing here, if I were to boost straight upwards with a high jump, I could get onto these green blocks. But if you boost sideways while you still have upwards momentum, you get a significant boost upwards from that. And it's what let me get to that warp star before. Spike Land. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Like I said, this is the shortest level in the entire game. How short is it? Done. I believe the record for that level is 4 seconds, 4.5, somewhere around there. The 3 Clancer Kids is actually pretty lenient, at least with how fast I can do it. I typically go with a slide jump over the first kid, bounce up to this second kid, and then all I have to do is just quickly get to the third over at the edge of the stage. But there are several, you know, you can go about it pretty much in any order you like. I think the current fastest way to get them is to get the one up top first, then the one on the far right, and then grab the kid over the flames last. It's pretty lenient. The S-rank time is 33 seconds. A level that is not lenient is this one. Blockman Rises is the last level that I got an S-rank on when I was first getting all of these. First of all, you have to be hitting the D-pad and C buttons alternating to move as fast as you are. It's impossible to move fast enough otherwise. And that really doesn't make it good for, you know, trying to do it in more than one attempt, because it really wrecks your thumbs. Anyway, the level is pretty standard right up until this point. It takes a specific bit of timing to get past all 3 of those bomb throwers without getting hit at all. And as soon as you get off, you just gotta do a quick couple of slide jumps over to get to the star. The S-rank time is 36 seconds, and even when you go as fast as possible, sometimes you are over the time limit even though you think that you did it as fast as you could. 1-7 is a really fun one. I mentioned that Celes is a good weapon against the worm, but this is how good she is. The worm is already dead. I guess that technically is a glitch, but you otherwise would just throw Celes into the worm, I think, 3 times and it kills the worm. The S-rank time for that was 22 seconds, so even doing that one-hit kill, I think the fastest time is 17 seconds. In this level, I showed sort of what the best way to beat this level quickly. In the main video, you just throw Terran down there, keep him out of the way, and then you can just throw the Guardians straight through all of the Spur Clancers in each wave. You do need to be a little careful, because if you throw him too soon or too late, then he'll kind of stop on the 3rd or 4th Clancer, and they'll start punching him, and it wastes time. Kind of need to wait for them to all land, and just as they're starting to move. But anyway, The S-rank time for that one is 43 seconds. I'd always thought it was 42, but a guide that I am referencing right now says 43, so I'll trust it. Western World is another fairly technical one. Instead of going through those blocks at the bottom, you just boost up here to get over to the gate here. Well, you have to kill this guy to actually advance, and the fastest way to do that is just to throw him in this area. It's mainly about the number of smacks against any surface he takes, so actually throwing him into those other clances was helpful. Don't hit the bomb on any of the spikes, and straight through. There are several points where that level can go wrong, but otherwise it's got a fairly decent time of 29 seconds for the S-rank, so I had actually a bit of leeway there. And lastly is the Volcano level, which has an S-rank time of 12 seconds. And this was the first time I had done this without using any glitches, and it's second shortest level in the game, and still also incredibly technical. There were a lot of slide jumps just skirting under some ceilings that I could have missed. But anyway, that's World 1. It's aside from, one or two sections or levels, it was a fairly simple set of S ranks to get. And probably see you next time in, I don't know, a couple of weeks for the World 2 S ranks.